How do you say let's hit the road in Italian?
I don't know. But let's go!
Woo!
We're embarking on a massive adventure, attempting to drive all the way around the Adriatic Sea. We started our journey in Albania and took our little red rental car on a ferry crossing overnight. This morning, we've arrived in Bari, Italy, and we're ready to start our big drive across the bottom of Italy, leaving behind the Adriatic coast and hoping to end our day by the Mediterranean Sea on the legendary Amalfi coast.
Welcome to our Italian road trip adventure. Today we are on the road from Bari, where we got off the ferry from Albania, all the way across the bottom of Italy to Sorrento on the Amalfi coast.
Gracias.
Spanish.
Shoot. Grazie.
That's a cute name.
He'd already stamped it.
He'd already stamped it, so he probably just
I don't know which way to go.
Dumb.
Oh, exit. I think I need your GPS.
Okay, sorry.
First impressions of the Italian highway system. This is with less than an hour on the roads. People drive pretty fast. Speed limits seem pretty meaningless. I mean, in a 50 zone, some people go 50, but some people are going like 90 to 100. And in a 90 zone, some people go 90, but some people are going like 150, I think. Pretty unreal. You definitely need to be paying attention.
My first impressions of road tripping through Italy is there just seems to be like ancient ruins everywhere. And okay, ancient to me, I feel like it's not that old as compared to some of the stuff that like we're gonna see here. But we're talking like old stone buildings that could easily be like 400 or 500 years old, just sitting out in a field. It's so cool to just watch as the scenery slowly changes. When we first left Bari, it was very much kind of yellow, low rolling hills, farmland dotted with these old stone houses that were abandoned. And as we've continued across here, it's become a lot more mountainous, a lot more green. We're kind of in like a forested area, and we're starting to see more and more towns as well.
Well, we thought ahead and packed ourselves a picnic lunch. The only problem is we did not pack a knife for our peanut butter and jam sandwiches.
See, when you're in the van, you have dishes and stuff like that. We don't here.
We're less equipped for this road trip. What we do have is crackers. So, oh, there's a truck beside us. There you go. Peanut butter on a cracker.
Only a little bit pathetic.
This would be fine if the crackers weren't rosemary flavored.
I've got pieces of cracker in my sandwich.
It still tastes good.
It is, it's a good sandwich. This is incredible. We just came from the Adriatic Sea this morning, and now we're getting our first view of the Mediterranean here in Salerno, right?
We've crossed the boot.
Oh my gosh, I can't even get it on camera.
The Amalfi Coast is probably one of the most legendary tourist destinations in Italy. Okay, I know. There are a lot of legendary tourist destinations in this country, from the Colosseum in Rome to Venice, of course the food, the art, the architecture. But chances are this little collection of beach towns has been dominating your Instagram feed this past summer.
Time to explore Amalfi.
The U.S. News and World Report travel rankings awarded the Amalfi Coast the #1 best beaches in Italy, and according to what I read online, 5 million tourists visit this area every year. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Just a few videos ago, we talked about going to Albania because it's off the beaten path, and this is pretty much the opposite of that. But as much as we love stuff that's unique and different, we're also not going to turn our noses up at the best beaches in Italy. Come on. Since we're here in the off season, we're hoping it won't be quite as crazy as it is during the summer, but we'll find out.
A beautiful place to be.
It's just stunning. As soon as you
Honestly,
see it, it brightens your mood.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine a more beautiful place than this.
Yeah, for real.
I honestly expected it to be a little bit overhyped.
But it's so pretty. This is so reasonable. This whole calzone was like €3, so let's see if it's good.
Oh, it seems a little tough.
It's tasty though.
This place is hopping. It's called, I guess, Amalfi Terminal. There are tourists absolutely everywhere. Imbattibili nel lancio di parole dai balconi, siamo tesserati al club delle comari. We survived the crazy coastal highway and made it all the way to Sorrento, where we have a special surprise excursion. That's right, y'all. We're going on a sunset boat tour of Sorrento.
I'm so excited. This is definitely like a splurge for us. We don't normally do such luxurious activities, but we sprung for the private boat tour, and I'm excited. Oh, is that the boat? It's like kind of small.
Is that our guy?
No, I don't think that's our guy, is it?
I don't think it's that.
I
No, look,
really
he's just ferrying people between
Okay,
boats.
that could be. Anyway, hopefully we'll get a really beautiful view of the city from the sea. This experience was honestly magical. Our captain, Vittorio, showed us so many cool spots along the Sorrento coast, telling us about the history. How old would those like arches be?
This one's like around 1400.
Wow,
600 years.
that's so cool. And even taking us into some caves with a secret beach. That's so cool. Seeing the coast at sunset was just incredible, and even though this was a splurge for us, I would say it was 100% worth it. Nice to meet you. Thank you. That was a really great time. I had been feeling a little bit overwhelmed and a little bit like from all of the driving and the craziness, but this was like the perfect way to end the day. It was just so beautiful and fun and relaxing. Like, I feel like this is probably going to be one of the highlights of like the whole trip because that was just so special.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I feel like this was the perfect, relaxing, beautiful antidote to the craziness that's been the drive and really just Amalfi in general.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy place.
Yeah.
That was so special.
So shout out to Vittorio from the boat tour. You definitely should book one. We are just waiting for our big group tour to start.
With the hordes of other tourists.
As always, it's been a bit of a chaotic morning, just with Italian traffic and also getting where we're trying to go on time.
Getting slightly lost, yeah.
But we're here. And I'm really excited to see the ruins. It's going to be really cool. Today we're joining a guided tour through the ancient Roman city of Pompeii, guided by an archaeologist who, when he's not teaching tourists about Pompeii, actually works on uncovering more of it.
We're going through the big gate.
I think this is where the wheels meet.
Oh yes, the wheels of the chariot passed on either side.
Mount Vesuvius erupted for 3 straight days and covered the city with 49 feet of pumice stone and ash, and everyone who was in the city when it happened died of asphyxiation. Because everything was buried, it left the city perfectly preserved, and now archaeologists are able to uncover it and reveal a snapshot in time at the height of the Roman Empire.
So one question I had was, why didn't people leave when the volcano erupted? Turns out they didn't have a chance. Most people asphyxiated just from the gas that the volcano let out.
And the ash in the air.
Yes, so they just suffocated relatively quickly. And there was an earthquake and a big tsunami, a big wave. So escaping
leave by sea.
By sea wouldn't have been an option either.
Yeah.
Probably no one survived.
While many other Roman cities, like Rome for example, were in constant use since Roman times, so they've evolved and are a patchwork of architecture and technology from across the centuries. In contrast, Pompeii is an amazing artifact of the technology and society of the 1st century.
I mean, maybe this is obvious, but I'm blown away at how advanced this city was. They had like a whole system of one-way streets. They had
a grid, like their streets were a grid like we do now.
They have crosswalks that are raised in the street. The streets were also an open sewer, so people needed to not step in the dirty water.
And so they had sidewalks that were raised.
They had
and
drinking fountains.
Freaking water, like running
There's
water.
an aqueduct that fed the city.
That is unreal.
And the excess water from the drinking fountains, there's a little hole in the bottom of the fountain, and that's what washed the streets.
We're talking like 2,000 years ago. Like,
Yes.
This is crazy.
This is like around year 0.
And the Romans put that running water to good use with extensive public bathhouses with cold, warm, and hot water baths and in-floor heating. But that wasn't the only way they liked to spend their free time. Pompeii was also fitted out with a theater for the arts and an amphitheater for sports.
This is going good. So we were just viewing the temple here in Pompeii, where there's statues of the gods Apollo and Artemis, the gods of the sun and the moon, respectively. So he was saying they could pray here all times of day. And he also noted that the temple is kind of constructed facing Mount Vesuvius, facing the mountain, because they saw the mountain as like very sacred and important to them. And I don't know if this is just like our interpretation after the fact, because I don't think they had any way of knowing this, but part of why this region is so fertile and they could, grow grapes and everything like that is because of the volcanic ash makes the soil very fertile.
So really, it's tragically poetic. The mountain that the people of Pompeii revered and actually had given life to their city in providing fertile soil to grow their food and volcanic rock for building their walls, ultimately was their demise.
I realize this might sound basic because the Romans are literally famous for this exact thing, but I just continue to be impressed by the scale and complexity of the city and how much is like similar to modern day cities. Like they had amphitheaters, we have sports stadiums. They have theaters, we still have theaters for, music, plays, movies now, and like how much it feels the same as what we have now. They even had like takeout restaurants, which our guide pointed out to us, which I had no idea about. So like how crazy is that? They literally had restaurants where they kept the food warm so it'd be ready when people arrived to purchase it. Like 2,000 years ago. Even something as simple as like the stones that make the crosswalks here, they're obviously like risen up over the level of the street, but like the way that we mark crosswalks on streets today looks just like those stones. It's like lines, like almost like stepping stones across the street. I'm like, that's crazy that like we're still doing that the same way. All right, after a very late lunch just outside of Pompeii, we are going to continue on this lightning fast Italian road trip and head for Naples.
Naples, let's go.
After another wild ride on the Italian highway system,
The way the drivers around here are something.
we arrived in Naples, where we're staying for the night.
This is like a freaking roller coaster.
We dropped off our things at the Airbnb and hit the town.
gelato.
I'm so excited about this.
They're pretty direct there. They
Yeah.
give you your gelato and you go.
Well, like literally, I'm just trying to determine what flavors they even have because there's a lot of people in the way. And then she's like, "Pay first, please." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then when I finally was ready to like know what I was trying to order, so small cup, some other girls had walked in and they like were ready to talk. And then the lady was like, "No, one moment, them first." And it's like, "Oh, okay."
They're trying to be fast.
They obviously are not a tip-based system. They don't care what you think.
The people need their gelato and they need it fast. So you got to get in, get out. Come with a plan, execute, get the gelato and go.
Yeah.
Delicious gelato, especially the pistachio.
Yeah, very
It's
tasty.
so good, so creamy.
So maybe it was worth being having a bit of an awkward, I
Look,
guess,
life
interaction.
moves fast around here.
Yeah.
The cars are just whipping down these skinny streets. Same
I
with
know,
the
but then when we sat down
Vespas.
in that restaurant for lunch,
Then the
they
service
did not
was a little
seem all
slow.
that quick about it.
True enough.
So
It's speed up, slow down, kind of a
I
lifestyle.
guess so, yeah.
Tiny street we're on. There's cars coming. We gotta pull over.
You wouldn't think a car would fit here.
There's another one.
We definitely look very touristy by the fact that we're getting out of the way, but you know,
Well, and we're vlogging.
that doesn't help.
There's some really beautiful churches around here and just a lot of beautiful architecture. It's too bad we're going at the pace that we're going. Like,
I know, we keep feeling that about everything. Like, I think all of these places you could spend, you know, a long time there and still not see all of it. And that's just the pace of this wild Italian road trip. We're kind of going really fast. And I don't think I realized how fast it was going to be when I planned it. But with anything, like, we just have so much interest in so many different places that we feel like we can't skip anything. So then we end up packing the schedule really full and then going at like a speed run pace.
yes, but Naples is beautiful. I wish we had more time here. I always say that, but I really feel it here.
Anyway, I think that's going to be it for our time in Naples. So we'll catch back up with you when we are on the road to Rome. We're on the road to Rome.
If you haven't already watched our previous video, you definitely should, because you'll see that we have not started this road trip in Italy. We actually got this car back in Albania. And so I think some people were wondering why we did that. There's sort of two reasons why we got this rental car back in Albania. First, you get this really cool double-headed eagle logo on the back of your license plate.
Yeah.
Second is it's way cheaper. In our research, it's like approximately half the price. Maybe you save even more if you get a rental car in Albania rather than Italy, especially if you're planning to take it out of the country. In total, for 3.5 weeks with this rental car, it was just about 700 euro. So that's pretty darn cheap. From what we could see, getting a rental car in Italy was going to cost us a lot more than that.
Yeah, like I think more like 2,000 or even like 3,000 euro.
And if you don't know, getting a rental car one way, like dropping it off at a different location,
Very expensive.
tends to be quite expensive as well.
Which is part of why our trip is a loop, so that we can return the car to Tirana. And in general, it's also cheaper to do return flights rather than booking
Exactly.
two different one-way flights from different locations.
We've made it to Rome.
And hopefully we've given you a little bit of a taste of what you can expect in the vlogs to come. So make sure you subscribe because we're gonna have an entire video where we spend 3 days exploring Rome, trying to see everything that we possibly can.
You won't want to miss it.
So as always, thank you so much for watching. We love you, we miss you all back home, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.